Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing well. In today's video, we're diving into the story of a fascinating French vessel, the SS Pasteur. Built as a steam turbine ocean liner for the Compagnie de Navigation Sud-Atlantique, she had an impressive career that spanned 41 years. Much like the SS Southern Cross, which we covered last week, the Pasteur had a long and eventful life at sea. Throughout her service, she sailed under several names including the TS Bremen and later the Regina. But sadly, her story ended under the name the Filipinas Saudi when she sank in the Indian Ocean on June 8, 1980. Hello everyone, it's Jamie from Old Shipping Lines, and today we're going to explore the full and rich history of the SS Pasteur from her construction through her varied years of service, and finally, to her end. In 1933, the Compagnie de Navigation Sud-Atlantique's modern flagship, the 42,512 gross registered tons L'Atlantique, was devastated by fire after just 2 years in service. Following a 3-year dispute, her underwriters finally declared her beyond economic repair and compensated her owners with a settlement. Following the settlement, her owners commissioned the Pasteur as a smaller yet faster replacement vessel to transport passengers and freight along their South Atlantic routes, marking the beginning of her journey. The ship's main competitor was the German liner the SS Cap Arcona, owned by Hamburg Süd. She was also designed to rival the new British vessel the RMS Andes, which Harland and Wolff was constructing for Royal Mail Lines. Now, let's quickly go over the specifics of this ship. The vessel had a gross registered tonnage of 29,253 gross registered tons. Her length measured 212.4 meters, which is 696 feet 10 inches. She had a beam of 26.8 meters, or 87 feet 11 inches. With 11 decks and extensive cargo spaces, she was designed to carry 751 passengers. Powered by 4 propellers, she could reach speeds of up to 26 knots, though her typical service speed was around 22 knots. The Pasteur was launched on 15 February 1938, but the outbreak of World War II postponed her entry into service, leading to her being laid up in Saint-Nazaire, France. In 1940, Pasteur was tasked with carrying 200 tons of French gold reserves from Brest to Halifax, Nova Scotia. Her scheduled maiden voyage from Bordeaux to Buenos Aires was cancelled as the war escalated. After France fell to German forces, the ship was taken over by the British government and put under the management of Cunard White Star. She served as both a troop transport and a military hospital ship, operating between Canada, South Africa, Australia, and South America. Over the course of the war, she carried approximately 300,000 soldiers. At times, she was referred to as HMTS Pasteur. Owing to her remarkable speed, the Pasteur typically undertook crossings solo and without escort, bypassing the need to travel within convoys. In October 1941, she completed a notable voyage from Glasgow to Halifax, carrying a diverse contingent of troops. Among them were officers tasked with coordinating the movement of 20,000 British soldiers across Canada and the Pacific en route to Singapore. The Pasteur also carried nearly 2,000 German prisoners of war to camps in North America and transported detainees from Suez, Egypt to South Africa. In 1943, her route included stops at Freetown, Cape Town, Durban, Aden, and Port Tufik before returning to the Clyde and Halifax. She played a vital role in the Battle of El Alamein, ferrying 10,000 troops from the British 8th Army Corps and 5,000 from the US 1st Army Corps. Throughout the war, the Pasteur transported a total of 220,000 soldiers and 30,000 wounded personnel, covering an astonishing 370,669 miles. After the war, the Pasteur was employed to repatriate US and Canadian troops before being returned to her owners in October 1945. Management was handed back to Sud Atlantic in early 1946. Following her return to France that year, she continued to serve in the French military as a troop transport vessel. Between 1954 and 1957, she was deployed to Algeria. The ship was awarded France's highest military honor, the Croix de Guerre. In February 1950, she completed a voyage transporting 4,000 Dutch troops from Indonesia to the Netherlands. The Pasteur was initially laid up at Toulon in 1956 before being moved to Brest in 1957. However, during the Suez Crisis later that year, the escalating conflict prompted her recommissioning in September 1956. Alongside several other passenger and military vessels, she was pressed back into service as a troop transport. In December 1956, while docked in the strategically vital Port Said Harbor, the Pasteur played a key role by hosting the general headquarters of the French forces. As the conflict drew to a close, she was one of the last Allied ships to leave Port Said, underscoring her importance in the operation. In September 1957, marking the end of her military career, the Pasteur was sold to North German Lloyd for 30 million Deutsche Marks. The formal transfer of ownership occurred that same month, with the ship moving from Brest to her new home port of Bremerhaven, signaling a new chapter in her long and varied service. Following her acquisition by North German Lloyd in 1957 and renaming to TS Bremen, the ship underwent a major reconstruction at the Bremer Vulcan shipyard in Bremen. The rebuild, costing around 65 million Deutsche Marks, increased her gross registered tonnage to 32,336 tons and boosted her load carrying capacity to 8,700 tons dead weight. Equipped with new boilers and 4 steam turbines, the TS Bremen was capable of reaching a top speed of 26 knots. One striking alteration was the addition of a new drop-shaped funnel, which was far better proportioned to the ship compared to the original tall funnel. To improve stability and passenger comfort, 2 4.5-meter stabilizers were installed. In June 1959, she successfully completed a series of new sea trials. After her acquisition, the TS Bremen was assigned to the Bremerhaven, Southampton, Cherbourg, New York route starting on July 9, 1959. In 1960, she carried around 28,000 passengers across the Atlantic between Europe and the United States. That same year, the Bremen expanded her service to include cruises to the Caribbean and South America. During a refit in 1965 at the North German Lloyd repair yard, she was fitted with a bulbous bow to enhance her hydrodynamics. In 1970, North German Lloyd merged with Hamburg America Line, creating the shipping giant Hapag-Lloyd. In September 1971, she made her final voyage from Bremen to New York for Hapag-Lloyd. In October 1971, Bremen was sold to Greek shipping company Chanderis Cruises for 40 million Deutsche Marks. After 175 Atlantic crossings and 117 cruises for North German Lloyd, the sale was completed in January 1972, after a further refit that brought her tonnage to 23,801 tons. The Regina became the flagship of Chandris Cruises, inaugurating her Mediterranean itinerary. She made her first visit to Limassol on May 19th, offering passengers routes from Cyprus to ports such as Beirut, Haifa, Heraklion, Piraeus, Katakolon, Corfu, Dubrovnik, and Venice. The Regina maintained a regular schedule, calling at Limassol every 2 weeks, and her cruises quickly grew in popularity. The ship cruised the world until 1974, when she was laid up in Piraeus because of rising fuel costs and the loss of emigration charters to Australia. In 1977, the ship was sold to the Philippine Singapore Ports Corporation in Saudi Arabia and renamed the Saudifil. She arrived in Jeddah on November 1st, 1977, where she was used as a floating accommodation for Filipino workers. In 1980, she was sold to Philsimport International in Hong Kong and renamed the Filipinas Saudi. It was under this final name that her fate was sealed. On June 8, 1980, while being towed by the Panamanian tug Sumatra to the ship-breaking yards in Kaohsiung, Taiwan, she unexpectedly rolled onto her port side and sank stern first into the depths of the Indian Ocean. Thank you for accompanying me on this detailed exploration of the Pasteur's distinguished career, from her origins as a French ocean liner to her vital contributions during wartime and her later service under various names. The Pasteur's history is a testament to the resilience and versatility of ocean-going vessels.
And that marks the end of a video, my friends. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, if you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing to the channel, as that would help out the channel a lot. Now, if you have any thoughts, comments or questions, please leave them in the comment section down below, as I absolutely love reading your comments. And please let me know in the comment section down below as well what ships you would like me to cover in the future. Now, be as well sure to check out our social media pages. We are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, and we also recently have a website, oldshippinglines.com, where we have articles of the ships we cover and we have book reviews as well. I think you will enjoy the website very much. Now, with that out of the way, guys, I wish you all a good night or day, wherever you are. Stay safe, stay happy, and we will see each other on the next video. Goodbye, my friends.